Secretary-General Srinivasan approached the podium, still managing his internal battle against his nerves and excitement. This was a historic day for mankind and the galaxy, so it was only wise to try and push his emotions to the back as much as he could. In front of him, a crowd of aliens, with complete attention and expecting to hear the first speech by this new, exotic human race to the rest of the galaxy. Srinivasan got to the microphone and began what would be mankind's inaugural speech into the galaxy, the words by which humanity would be now known and remembered for. Dearest citizens of the Korgalani Dominion, and of the galactic nations as a whole, I stand here as the first Secretary-General of a new United Nations, and as the first human head of state of all mankind to speak on an alien world. I have come here to express the gratitude of our peoples towards your race, for we would not have united and moved on from our petty squabbles and minor conflicts without your Dominion's push, he said proudly, as he smiled and pointed to the UN flag displayed on the Dominion Supreme Council Palace. Never before was humanity as united in resolve, in strength, in courage, and in mind as it became after your arrival. Never before we would have dreamed of becoming a single people of all colours, united in hope and purpose without your appearance in our heavens. At this point, Srinivasan's voice had already reached the ears of all major galactic networks of all galactic nations, known and unknown by man. As he spoke, hundreds of frantic signals from races who were completely oblivious to human existence reached UN spaceship, in complete shock and surprise, asking, pleading and demanding in various tones of urgency to the Secretary-General or any other human authority. Your ships appearing in our skies marked the beginning of an era for man that only our most talented writers and dreamers would have conceived. In that moment, you had humanity in complete shock and awe, and presented us a new future ahead that mere minutes before were dormant in our daily thoughts as pure fiction and fantasy. Srinivasan looked around as he saw the members of the Korgalani Supreme Council escorted to the front, and sight of the crowd by the blue helmets, pleased to know his favourite part had begun. Such a shock and awe for the future that was only able to break after your ships began their indiscriminate bombardment of our world. Our cities in fire and our people in panic. From a second to the next, you had gifted us the illusion of a bright future, only to extinguish that torch with your cruelty. The Korgalani Supreme Council displayed now on their knees, facing their former subjects. Subjects with faces of pain and terror, those that could still see, of course, could only watch as their old leaders, the prized beacons of their race, were now mere prisoners of terrified expression in blooded bodies and broken spirits. But humanity has never been easily defeated. We never gave up before to adversity and challenges, and you would not break our lucky streak. You gave our nations a unifying torch to follow, a torch that was greater than any individual aspiration that our nations ever had before. The torch of retribution, of survival, of revenge. Former mortal enemies now turn to greatest allies, with a gift we achieve from your evilness. Lifelong rivals, side by side, bleeding together as one in their resolve to make your wretched sons and daughters pay with their blood for daring to pollute our sacrosanct world with their presence. Palestinian guerrillas harassing your divisions and driving them directly to Israeli troops. Russian waves encircling your halls to then be crushed and squeezed by German tanks. North and South Koreans in tune, bombing and pushing your unfortunate sons into a deadly forest of mines, barbed wire, and machine guns. You don't know about any of these nations, but it matters not, for the only thing you ought to know is that you made these mortal enemies realize the only thing that matters: human solidarity to ensure human supremacy. He gave the signal to the blue helmets, who unsheathed their machetes and prepare to give justice. Over and over, our peoples united, smashed and crushed your landing parties in our cities and our towns. Over and over we showed the unfortunate hordes that you doomed to perish in our planet, that they had underestimated our capacity for bloodshed, because of mere technicalities like space technical capacity. A capacity that human cunning rapidly surpassed by reverse engineering your captured ships and weapons, that in a matter of months were able to be replicated and even upgraded by every factory and foundry the industrious nations of Earth had to offer. Srinivasan now pointed at the city, once a true metropolis of huge and monumental proportions that not even pre-invasion Tokyo and New York merged together could have rivaled. A monster of towers and skyscrapers now leveled to the ground, smashed into smoking rubble and weeping souls. This is the price of your cruelty, your arrogance and greed. Let it be known to your remaining forces, your remaining planets, and the wider galaxy as a whole that this is the price, the generous price that humanity imposes on those whom in their delusions of grandeur dare touch the lands of man. With a nod from the Secretary-General, the Blue Helmets grabbed the weeping and pleading members of the Supreme Council by their fragile green necks, elevating them for all the crowd to see, to then stab them in their chests with their machetes, and slowly opening their bodies wide. Srinivasan made sure this was broadcasting far and wide for all the galaxy to see. He would make sure the leaders and rulers of all the stars had the image of the highest Kogolani officials bleeding their entire guts out, completely linked to humanity. A gruesome, almost barbaric deterrent, even, but a necessary one, nonetheless. This is the price your leaders are to pay for their crimes against humanity. The same price awaits the remaining elite of your military and government. Wise it is for all of you to accept this new reality, and make sure the next government you manage to assemble is sensible enough to treat with us with the utmost respect and gratitude towards humanity for merely punishing your leadership, and not your species as a whole, an idea that was very difficult to contain within our plans. This has been my message to you all, and to the rest of the galactic peoples, wherever they might be. Humanity is a people of peace and friendship. That is what we all seek and desire at the end. But we are not by any means weak. If you give us the chance and extend your hand in peace, we shall become to you the greatest of friends and will even give our lives for you. But should you extend your arms or the pertinent limbs in war and aggression against us, know you have been warned. Know that what we did to the Kogolani was a mere fraction of our capacities, a mere warning of what humanity can do when wronged, when infuriated. Know that the next time our people are driven to the edge, we will not be merciful at all, and we'll make sure there's not a single enemy left alive to surrender, civilian or not. We have been slapped, but we shall start anew and we shall turn the other cheek. This time, and only this once.